Okay, this Ask Energy question is a fantastic one. This one comes from Lauren, and Lauren asks, is a plant-based diet healthy? Healthy, right? Oh, let's just take a breather really quick. Well, first off, it depends on your definition of healthy. Your definition of healthy is probably different than my definition of healthy, and I think we throw around that word way too often and without context. So I'll put things in context as we go along here. But let's get back to the whole thing. Is plant-based eating what I will say? I'll just replace the word healthy with beneficial. Absolutely, there can be some great benefits to plant-based eating. And with plant-based eating, I am talking vegan and vegetarian. Okay, I'm going to lump those into two. Yes, they're not the same, but I kind of feel like we're talking about plant-based with both of them. Obviously, vegan is a little bit more elimination, a little bit higher focus in terms of not having any animal products whatsoever. Vegetarian is a little more loose. But let's get back to it. Is it healthy? Is it beneficial? It can be extremely beneficial from a lot of different standpoints. Now, number one, get a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, very good fiber. Of course, let's just put the limiter out there. As long as you are actually eating whole foods, right? Because I've seen a lot of vegans and vegetarians have horrible nutrition plans. They're actually eating a lot of processed things, just not meat products, right? So if we are putting this in context where we think or where we're knowing that vegan and vegetarian is whole food based, then okay, that's the road we're going down. So yes, beneficial, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, great fiber, absolutely hands down. Good source of carbohydrates as long as you're balancing those a little bit. So there are some pluses to it for sure. The not so good things potentially about plant-based is that you really need to know your way around food because it is more challenging to have and find protein sources or enough protein sources. Let's put it that way, right? It's easy to find beans, nuts, seeds, tofu, you name it, right? But sometimes it's hard to get those in the right quantity to support your developmental stage in your life, maybe your athletic goals. So just keep in mind that sometimes it's difficult to find the right volume of protein. Now, the other thing is fat. I find that a lot of my vegan and vegetarian athletes are very low fat. Remember, we need fat. Every cell in your body has fat in it. We absolutely need fat coming into your nutrition plan. So, a lot of times, unless you are using oils or eating a lot of nuts and seeds, you will need to somewhere you'll just need to make it more apparent and more focused on adding oils to cooking or to salads after that's done and kind of as a salad dressing. So I kind of feel like from a fat standpoint, you sometimes have to do a little bit more work in adding fat to your daily nutrition plan. Okay. So ample carbs, protein gets a little bit tricky because you just need to be a lot more focused on finding the volume of protein. And then the last one is fat. Sometimes you need to actually not supplement with fat, but really be aware that you might need to add more fat into your daily nutrition plan. Okay, so those are the macronutrients. But let's talk about kind of this elephant in the room. Like, is it healthy or not? Because I've seen, including myself, actually, let me just stop. I was vegetarian for 10 years, not full vegan, but vegetarian. And if you ask me why did I do it, I really don't know why. I was a newer registered dietitian. I kind of feel like I did it as an experiment, guinea pig, N of one, because I knew some of the athletes that I'd be working with would also be vegetarian. So I wanted to feel it. I wanted to live it. And that's kind of what I like to do in my practice in my life. But let me talk about this because when you talk about health markers, what I always tell people, and I don't care if it's plant-based, omnivore, carnivore, keto, doesn't matter, you have to start before you jump into a diet or an eating plan. Please start by getting some basic biomarker testing done first. Maybe even just, and I'm not even going to say a basic blood work lab done. I'm going to say a comprehensive blood analysis, very comprehensive, because you want to look at more things other than just what the doctors are looking at, kind of basic when you come in and out of the office, right? So, what I would say is, get a comprehensive biomarker panel done first. So that's going to include iron and B12 and folate and vitamin D. I mean, you name it here. It's just like under the sun, all these biomarkers you can, because here's the thing. If you want to really answer the question, is a vegetarian, vegan, or plant-based diet healthy, it's going to depend on you and what healthy is to your body. So, for example, with me, when I was on plant-based, when I was vegetarian, I actually did blood work screening quite often and noticed that when I was on a plant-based diet, that my triglycerides were very high, which is typically indicative of having a high carbohydrate intake and not enough protein, not enough fat, right? I also found that my HDL, my good cholesterol, was low. And a lot of my biomarkers were actually negative, meaning they were not good when I was on a vegetarian diet. Now, here's the thing, a lot of that is genetic based. And that's why you should actually have biomarker testing before you decide on any diet or any eating plan, right? Because you need to craft it for you, not because someone thinks it's healthy or you think it's the right thing to do, which is totally cool. I get that, right? But you have to make sure that you are picking your nutrition to support your health, which includes knowing what your biomarkers are, what your genetics are. Because for me, listen, while I kind of, for the most part, I enjoyed eating that way based on my biomarkers, which is also kind of a representative of my genetics too. And I also had genetics testing to kind of close that gap. I knew that that was not the right eating plan for me because it was disrupting my biomarkers in a very negative way. So I went back to omnivore eating because of that. So again, it's not necessarily, let's not get in the whole game of is this healthier or not. I think we need to get in the game of saying, is it better for me based on my genetics, based on my life developmental level, my longevity goals, my health goals, my athletic performance goals? But please, before you answer the question, go get some testing done first. Get some biomarker testing, get some genetic testing, because that is truly the only way where you are able to answer this question. Is it healthy or not? Because this will come down to N of one. Again, rolling it back, there are many great benefits of plant-based eating. Unfortunately, you may not be the one who goes down that road 100%, right? Because of your biomarkers and your blood work. Now, with me personally, even though I eat omnivore, I eat animal proteins, I really enjoy plant-based eating, have at least a few meals a week, few dinners a week that are tofu-based or edamame-based or non-animal-based protein. I still really enjoy that, but I have to, because of my blood work and my genetics, I have to make sure that there are animal proteins in there to support my health and longevity goals. So long-winded way of saying, yes, a plant-based diet or eating plan can be super beneficial, but in terms of if it is healthy or not, kind of comes down to N of one. Go get testing done, and I look forward to answering your next Ask eNRG question.